Welcome everyone to this edition of the Share and Discuss webinar series. It's always a pleasure to have you join us every third Wednesday of the month. And this month promises to be another interesting conversation. We have two speakers today. I'm sure that is better than having one. So you can look forward to an amazing and insightful conversation. While we wait for everyone to settle in, I'll just allow for about 20, 30 seconds for everyone to settle in, and we will be on our way. While we're at that, can I suggest that we'd love to know where you're joining from, who is on the call. So please feel free to drop your name, your country, the subject you teach, and perhaps any other interesting fact about you. Please drop in the chat your name, the country you're joining from, the subject you teach, and any interesting fact about you. We love to know who you are and where you're joining from. Thank you, Atai Abdelkader. I see you're joining from Algeria, Ekene Chukwu from Nigeria, Gavin from Zambia. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. Thank you for joining today's edition. We will be right on our way now and we'll dive right in. Good day, good afternoon, good evening. I don't expect any of us is it's currently in the morning wherever we are, but just in case you are joining us from some other part of the world, good day to you wherever you're joining us from. My name is Odushola Olateju, and it's a pleasure to have you join us today. Over the next hour, we will have the pleasure of exploring technology in innovative ways and how that can transform our learning on the continent. Of course, taking advantage of our context and then learning from the experience of our amazing speakers today. So this webinar is brought to you by the PhET Interactive Simulation Project at the University of Colorado Boulder. The project creates free interactive math and science simulation. The sims are based on extensive education research that engage students through intuitive game-like environments where students learn through exploration and discovery. PhET was founded in 2002 by the Nobel laureate Carl Wyman. At the PhET Interactive Simulation Project, our goal is to improve the global teaching and learning of maths and science education. And in line with this goal, the webinar is one of the expressions where we bring in once a month seasoned researchers and practitioners from the continent to share their experience and how they are improving teaching and education and what we can learn from that, take into our practice and improve our craft. The goal at the end of the day is to translate research into practice and improve teaching outcomes on the continent. We meet every third Wednesdays of the month, and this is, or what you see on your screen is what the time looks like in your country or in the region that you are connecting from. The session is recorded, so you can find a list of past recordings on YouTube. Just visit YouTube and search for PhET Interactive Sims, and you'll see this recording and past recording. We'll also encourage that you share widely with your friends. Of course, those who might not be able to join at the moment, they are also able to continue to learn and they interact and engage with the conversations that happen here. Just a few other housekeeping rules before I introduce today's speaker. While the presentation is on, we will not be taking questions. However, we've saved ample time after the presentation to take all the questions that you might have. So feel free to post in the chat or use the question and answer feature here in Zoom to drop your questions while the session is on. I encourage that you drop it while the session is on. Don't wait till the end. You might lose that thought. So drop it while the session is on. And once we get towards that block of time where we've allocated for questions, of course, we will be able to open up the mic or just read directly from you from the chat and have the speakers respond to your questions. Also, I say this almost all the time. An hour looks like a lot of time, but it's almost never enough to extensively address a lot of the conversations that we have on this platform. And one way to basically elongate this time is to continue the conversation in the community here on Facebook. So there's a PhET for Africa community on Facebook where you'd find a lot of both beginner and users with extensive experience on the continent share ideas in the group. You can stay up to date with events, new publications, or even get involved in some of the activities once they become available. So I invite you, if you're not in the group at the moment or ready to join, and then stay abreast of news and events and activities as they become available. Without further ado, I have the pleasure of introducing our speakers for tonight. Just like I said, we have two speakers. That's, of course, what is better than one, like two more. So we have two speakers today who will be sharing about an amazing platform from Kenya and how they are enhancing teacher development on the continent. So Dorcas primarily leads the teacher enhancement program, and then Melissa leads the content pillars. So they're going to share, of course, their focus on what they do and how, of course, how all of that comes together and how PhET actually plays a role in that. It promises to be an insightful conversation. So I would hand the virtual mic over to Dorcas now. Thank you again, Dorcas. It's a pleasure to have you, and over to you now. I'll stop sharing so you can share your slide.
All right. Thank you very much, Olusola, for the opportunity to even speak in this forum that is bringing all teachers from Africa. We also thank PhET for this particular opportunity. So I hope my slides are...
Yeah, sure. They're up now. You just go full screen and we'll be good to go.
So as you have heard, my name is Dorcas Ngenoh. I lead the Teacher Enhancement Program under e-Msingi, which is a project in Strathmore University. Strathmore University is in Kenya. So for today, we are going to look at how learning has been transformed through technology. Particularly, we are going to focus on the project that we've been doing, that is e-Msingi. E-Msingi is a Kiswahili word. Kiswahili, so the word e-Msingi means foundation. So as you know, foundation is actually like a key to everything. So we are going to see how is it that learning has been transformed through technology. So I will take you what is e-Msingi. So I've said e-Msingi is a project that is domiciled in Strathmore University, Kenya. So the project aims at creating a sustainable model of education that not only empowers students, but also teachers. And another key people who in education are parents. So parents are also our key focus, as well as the communities around schools. So we aim to provide quality learning materials, which we have been doing for the past 2 years. So the project has 5 pillars. The first pillar is teacher enhancement pillar. In this pillar, we aim to provide in-service training to teachers. There's the in-service training is online. So we provide online services to teachers where they access learning materials and they are able to improve their pedagogical skills. Another pillar is the subject content pillar, which my colleague is going to talk about. The next pillar is the parental engagement. Parental engagement is definitely key when it comes to education because parents are actually important in the process of education. So in this particular pillar, we aim to provide podcasts whereby parents can be able to discuss what are some of the emerging issues that are affecting them and how is it that as parents they can be able to navigate through the process of parenting their children. Another thing is the life skills. For this particular pillar, we aim to equip learners with life skills so that apart from just the knowledge the subject knowledge, we also aim to ensure that they have the necessary life skills so that after they're able to finish their education, they're able to develop other skills. Another pillar that we have is the guidance and counseling pillar. So for this one is, as you are aware, in schools, we have guidance and counseling departments. So we aim to support these particular departments through the provision of quality learning materials. So as I've spoken about the pillars, these are the pillars under e-Msingi. So the teacher enhancement pillar, which I am the lead, we provide online in-service training to teachers, school head, and educationists. So this particular pillar aims to equip teachers with the relevant skills so that they can be able to continue providing education in a manner that is contemporary. And also, apart from that, we look at what are some of the emerging issues when it comes to teacher education. Then we ensure that we incorporate that in our training. The other pillar, as I've mentioned, is a parental engagement, which supports active parental involvement in education. So we have podcasts as well as case studies. The other one is life skills, as I've mentioned, then guidance and counseling. The final one is the subject content pillar. So I'm going to focus more on the teacher enhancement pillar because this is where I am leading. So far, what have we been able to do in the past 2 years? So we have been able to train over 500 teachers from different counties in Kenya. As you are aware, Kenya has 47 counties. So we have been able to train close to 500 teachers from different counties in Kenya. Apart from that, we have also noticed that the programs have gained traction, not only in Kenya, but also we've had interest from teachers in Nigeria and Liberia. We have also been able to provide online courses, 3 online courses where teachers have been able to graduate. So when I say online programs, what I mean is these programs are self-paced, where we run a program for 3 months. Then we have a facilitator after every 2 weeks. They come in and they are able to discuss what are some of the issues that they are facing in that particular module. Then after 12 weeks, the teachers come to Strathmore University, where they are able to graduate from this particular course that we offered to them. So these are the particular courses that we have trained teachers on. So we have trained teachers on pedagogical approaches in education. When I say pedagogical approaches, what I mean, I believe all of us are teachers. So these are like the teaching methods that are relevant in the 21st century. So as you know, there are so many methods that are coming up. So this particular course was able to impact the training of teachers because they were able to gain pedagogical approaches in education. Another course that we trained teachers on is emerging sociocultural issues in the 21st century. There are so many issues that are coming up in the 21st century. We have gender identity, we have mental health, we have parental engagement. There are so many issues that are coming up. So that is why the need of this particular course. And for sure, teachers were able to actually see the need of this, and they were able to actually learn more that there's so much that is going on. How is it that social media is impacting education? The other course that we offered is education management, administration, and leadership. Please note, all these were short courses running for like 3 months. So this one we aimed at education managers. So we wanted to impact to them the skills that will be relevant in managing the education, institutions. That is HR skills, that is financial management skills. That is what they were able to cover in this particular course. Another one that is currently ongoing, this is a collaboration between Strathmore and PhET. That is, we are aiming the science teachers around our pool. So this one has been very effective, whereby we've been able to open up forums that teachers can be able to discuss issues of science, of teaching STEM. Yes, then the other course is learning disabilities. This one is also currently ongoing. As you are aware, there are so many issues currently facing learners, that is when we come to ADHD, autism. So we equip teachers, how is it that they can be able to handle when they come across learners who have autism or ADHD, how is it that they can be able to handle this neurodiversity in education. So these are some of the partners that we are currently working with. Of course, PhET is one of our top partners. We are working with them to provide that particular course to our pool of teachers. We also have University of Turku. This one is based in Finland. Then we also have FinChurch Aid and Young Scientist Kenya. So how has PhET been able to assist our teachers? So they have been able, of course, to access the learning materials, the learning and teaching materials through PhET. Apart from that, we've also been able to get us, whereby we have a pool of teachers. So the pool of teachers are able to come together and network together through WhatsApp. So we've had sessions of co-teaching, whereby teachers come and share their experiences and how is it that they've been able to use PhET, what challenges have they encountered while using PhET, how is it that they can be able to improve the use of PhET. Currently, we are also seeking funding from different partners and also teacher exchange programs, whereby we are aiming to have teacher exchange programs where teachers can be able to go to a different country and learn and see how is it that people are using different forums to be able to ensure that they achieve their objectives. So what is loading for us in the future in Strathmore? So these are the courses that we aim to come up with. So one of them is futures research or future studies in education. So this is a course that we are going to do in collaboration with Finland. So Finland is renowned for future studies. So future studies is whereby we look at what is it that will happen, what will happen in education in the next 10 years, and how is it that as teachers, we can be able to better prepare ourselves. So we look at what is happening in Finland, how is it, they're so advanced when it comes to future studies. So that is why we are partnering with them so that we can be able to equip our teachers and be able to know what will happen in Kenya. As you are aware, in Kenya, we are implementing a new education system that is competency-based curriculum, CBC. So for this particular CBC, we will look at how is it that it is going to impact education and how is it that we can prepare our teachers. Then another course that we are planning to do is AI and education. As you know, artificial intelligence is a big thing when it comes to big data. These are things that are very big, and also neurodiversity and inclusion. And how is it that they can be able to include students in their teaching and learning? So maybe why are we offering these particular courses? What informed our choices in these particular courses? So e-Msingi was formed because of the fact that we want to impact education, and also we want to impact the key people in education, that is the parents, the teachers, and the students. So why are we offering this particular course? The fact that teachers always desire to improve their skills is the reason why we offered this particular course, because you always need to improve your learning. Cannot say that you have reached the end of learning. There are new things coming up. So that is why we came up with the pedagogical skills training course. Then another thing is emerging issues. There are so many emerging issues that are coming up in the world. And how is it that we can be able to prepare ourselves for this particular emerging issues? And some of the emerging issues, as I mentioned, is gender identity, mental health, climate change, neurodiversity, and sustainability. All these are what informed the courses that we are offering. Then the fact that you find that we have teachers from different counties in Kenya. So the fact that the reason why we offered online courses, of course, for the fact that it is accessible and most of the teachers can be able to access without having to come to Strathmore. So what are some of the challenges we faced? Of course, with every project, you cannot say that it has been 100% successful. There has to be challenges. So one of the challenges we have faced is digital literacy, especially among teachers. So you find that teachers sometimes are not able to maneuver through this particular gadgets. So you find that they find so many difficulties maneuvering this through the platforms that we have for them. So to sort this particular problem, what have we done? So we ensure that we create short videos that we can be able to give them, that can guide them on how is it that they can access, for example, PhET simulations. And then another thing that we are doing is we have a WhatsApp group. So in that WhatsApp group, they are free to express their issues. So once they express their issues, there's always someone to help them. Like, for example, in PhET, we have a WhatsApp group where they express and they're able to encourage each other. Oh, I've been able to finish this particular course. How far are you? What can you be able to do to ensure that you finish this particular course? Another challenge that we have faced is completion rates are sometimes low. Of course, for online course, you do expect that not everyone will be able to complete because of the fact that people are not able to come together. So completion rates sometimes are not so high because this is an online course, so it is self-paced. So you find some people finish early, some are not able to finish early. Another challenge is, of course, funding. To ensure the sustainability of the course of the project, we will of course need funding to ensure that the course is able to be to meet its objectives. So finally, to the end of my presentation is how is it that you can be able to reach to us. So we have our email address, communications@e-Msingi.org, or you can be able to write to me at ngenoh@strathmore.edu. We can be able to partner and also ensure that these courses not only reach teachers around Kenya, but also teachers around Africa. So thank you very much, PhET, for this opportunity. I would invite my colleague, Melissa.
Thank you, Dorcas, for the presentation. Good evening, good morning, others it's good afternoon. So I'll share my screen shortly. I hope everyone can be able to see my screen.
Yeah, it's coming up. Yes, it's up now.
It's up?
No, not yet. It came up and it went off. Now we see Zoom currently.
Okay.
Not
That's
slide.
fine. The slide, are you able to see it now?
Good, we see you now.
Okay. So my name is Melissa Wambugu. I'm the co-lead under the subject pillar on e-Msingi. As you've heard from Dorcas, we have been doing this for 2 years. We have different pillars. She's talked about her pillar. I'll majorly focus on subject pillar, where we've been doing various activities with different learners within Nairobi for this past year. So I'll just take a brief and explain what we've been able to do. We are trying to get our learners to enjoy learning in different methodologies other than the normal methodologies that they're used to in the classroom. So as Dorcas had said, what e-Msingi is, it's one of the initiatives of Strathmore University, which we aim to improve and access our education through its multifaceted approach. So this means other than going to class, other than also just reading books, getting resource materials, we're looking at other ways we can be able to engage the children, we can be able to engage even the parents to be part and parcel of their learning experience of their children. So what's the vision for e-Msingi? Is to create a sustainable model of education that empowers teachers and students and other community through access to quality learning materials and support. you'll be able to see, as I explained, our subject content pillar. We have used different methodologies, different approaches, so that the learner can be able to enjoy the learning experience. Under our pillar, we aim to improve the learning by bringing the learning experience closer by the learner by crafting different challenges. So as you go onto e-Msingi page, you'll be able to see under the subject content pillar, we have created challenges for the learners. We have started with maths. Primarily, right now, we have started with grade 7, who are in junior secondary, as for the new curriculum. So we've created challenges in such a way that they're gamified. So the learners are able to do different challenges which have been set into games, and they're able to answer the questions. So it's not the normal way that we set the mathematical questions, but we've put them into games, which they move from one level to another level until the end. So we are looking at, first, this was our pilot year to be able to do it. We've done it so far with 60 students, which we had 30 schools. We did a test, and so far so good. The learners were able to attempt the challenges, and we are grateful for that. Also, we are looking at, in the future, to be able to work with from pre-primary, that's the PP1 learners, all the way to the grade 7, grade 8, and grade 9 in the future. Why the challenges? We looked at learners mostly, especially in Kenya. Most learners do not like the same methodology of mathematics the way it is taught. So in order for it to be more fun, more interactive, not a repetitive mode, we've put different games. So we call them hackathon challenges, as you can see on my slide. These are competitions and challenges that we've designed with the teachers within Nairobi out of these 30 schools, because we believe that these teachers are the key moderators. So why we started with maths, we were able to come up with simulations, which, courtesy of PhET, the learners were able to attempt the challenges. We're looking at also moving forward to doing other languages like English, Kiswahili, and all the other subjects. At the moment, we've been able only to do this October. So we have another challenge in November to another group of schools. We're looking forward to continue also over the holiday with the learners, having different games which we will upload once schools close, and we can be able to continue interacting. The other thing also we're looking at is to partner with more schools beyond Nairobi. We want to move beyond Nairobi and its environs. We want to also go to other countries where the learners can be able to compete with inter-schools, then we can be able to do inter-counties, then we can do regional competitions. Also, we are looking to expand our network of schools. We're looking for teachers to be able to help us to be able to come up with different other challenges in different subjects, especially for math, science, and English as we move forward. Obviously, it being upon the first year of us piloting it, we've gone through a lot of challenges. One of our challenge is funding. We are looking at, we can be able to get more funding. So far, we've been working with PhET and YSK, who are our partners at the moment. We're also looking at even schools coming in and being able to help us come up with the challenges, be able to monitor the learners, be able to come up with a committee, in order for us to be able to open up to other regions. Lastly, let me just read this. Lastly, the current needs we have on our pillar is we need a lot of content delivery through other learner-centered methodologies other than the games. We're looking at also having things like crosswords, which they can be able to access them online, and they can be able to share with other children or other learners in different areas. Finally, what we are looking at our future for our pillar, we've realized that there's a need to improve the content delivery, especially with the CBC curriculum. So the future, we are looking at all backgrounds and the ability to access all subjects from pre-primary to senior secondary school. We can also feel if we can also include other activities other than the subjects which we have already stated. We're also looking at to having weekly challenges other than the monthly challenges. If possible, we're looking to have edu games. We're looking to have more simulation, podcasts, and part of more resource books. I think that I'm done with my presentation.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you, Dorcas, as well, for the very extensive presentation of Msingi and your very extensive and robust approach. It looks significantly like you're addressing so many pillars, and we'll unpack that in a bit. Just before we go into the questions, I invite everyone to, this is the best time to drop your questions. You can use the question and answer feature here in Zoom. And once, if you have a question, I see Namukasa has raised her hand. We'll get to that in a bit. I will be happy to either open up the mic and let you speak directly, or just read your questions for you, and either of our speakers today will be happy to respond. But before we go to the question, of course, feel free to look at the chat, Melissa and Dorcas. There's a whole lot of good work, great presentation. Thank you, great effort. I see there's a lot of connection or appreciation for the amazing work that you're doing with the platform. So we'll come back to that. Please use the question and answer feature to drop your questions. And we'll open up the mic now for Namukasa. I see you've dropped your hand. Do you have a question? Or should we just go right in? If you have a question and you'd like to speak directly, please feel free to raise your virtual hand, and we'll hand the mic over, or just drop it in the chat. Thank you so much, Melissa and Dorcas again. There's so much to unpack about, of course, the attempt to, first, the unique approach is it's a platform that meets two needs, both the teachers and the students. So you're not focused on one end of the spectrum, addressing both, so, and trying to address that along interesting ways. Some of the other things that I found interesting is your use of games or gamification, of course, developing activities, and then, of course, localization. I think you mentioned plans to also create things in Kiswahili and all of that to push that. I'm just curious to know, I understand, and this is not jumping the gun or pushing you ahead. I understand you're trying things, and like this is still very early days, but in some of the approaches and things you've tried, what are the things, how are students and teachers responding to, what are the very early observations that you're seeing? Some of the things that you think, oh, this is very promising. A lot of people are jumping on this. Would you say the games, would you say the activities, or is it still very early days?
Thank you for that question. I think so far, the games is what the learners and the teachers are very excited about. They are pushing us to do weekly games. So we are currently gearing up to be able to provide that, especially as we approach the long holiday. Yes.
Okay, great. I'll hold my other questions. I see some questions are coming in, and Tabot is raising her hand again. Tabot, the floor is yours. Hi, Tabot, you're able to speak now.
Okay, thank you very much. You ladies, you really did well with your presentation. Kudos. Now, I was following Dorcas, and she made mention of 3 challenges. And these challenges didn't portray anything, didn't mention anything to do with resistance from the government, like your organization going against your educational policy. Are you in a way saying that you are working hand in glove with your government? There is no hurdle with the government, with your educational system, which controls education in Kenya? Thank you.
Thanks, Darbot. I don't, Dorcas and Melissa, who would like to take that?
So yes, I would like to take that. So we are working closely with the organization that is actually managing education in Kenya, that is the Teacher Service Commission. So we are working together with them to ensure that the programs that we are offering are actually relevant. Apart from that is we are working closely with also the school heads so that we can ensure that the programs that we are offering, they are also relevant to the particular teachers. So we are not only offering courses that are not recognized by the government, but they are recognized by the government as well as the school heads.
Awesome, thank you, great question. So takeaway from that is there are obstacles, but working with the right the right persons and the right offices can help navigate those barriers before they become like insurmountable. Thank you so much, and thank you for that amazing question, Tabot. I see, okay, Mercy has some feedback. Please, hope we can have the link to download the webinar after the class. Some of us came late. Yes, Anonymous, towards the end of the call, we'll drop a link to the playlist on YouTube where you can catch up with the recording of this session, as well as all of the past sessions that we've had. So yes, the session is recorded and you can catch up on them on YouTube. Please feel free to share widely with your network as well. Mercy says, wow, this is interesting. How has your experience been with parental involvement, especially on the project impact? What are you seeing on the parent side of the project? Who's taking that, Dorcas? Melissa?
Melissa, you can take it up.
Sorry, let me just switch off my video. My internet keeps on going off.
Sure. That's fine, go for it.
Please repeat your question.
Yes, so Mercy is asking, wow, this is interesting, just affirming your approach and some of the things you shared. And she's asking, how has your experience been with parental involvement, especially on the project impact?
Okay. For the parents are supportive. The parents are ready to work with us. One thing about parents, because I know majority of us here are parents, the more, how do I put it? The more you're informed prior, the more you're told, you're explained to the benefit that it's going to have for your learner and how what? I'm trying to get the right word for it. And how impactful it will be, you will be willing to support. And then also with the partnership with schools and school heads, it makes work very easy with the parents. I hope I've answered the question.
Yes, we hear you partnering with the school head and affirming the expectation of the parents, basically amplifying some of the benefits and will put student parents at ease with the platform. Thank you so much. I'm also curious to know, like, within the communities that you've created, I see that you're creating short videos and pushing via WhatsApp, which are existing communities and also strong communities that teach your work. Would you think that has been a game changer for you in being able to stay very close to teacher? Remember, I remember this, the platform does not involve the physical component where teachers meet. So does having such small clusters and communities where you can stay in touch and then share resources, how has that been helpful? And is that something you'd recommend for similar initiatives?
So yes, the particular networks that we have formed through WhatsApp with teachers have been really helpful for us because you find teachers have been able to share experiences with each other. They've been able to know how far is my colleague when it comes to this particular course, and what is it that I can be able to do to ensure that I reach that particular level. So they have been able to push each other. They have also been able to network, because we have a forum whereby they can be able to meet physically also in Strathmore. I can say the challenge with this particular forum is sometimes if you do not put the rules out there that this particular WhatsApp group is only meant for sharing official content, you find that sometimes teachers can post content that is not relevant. So to curb that is we've been actually ensuring that we share out the rules that this particular WhatsApp group is only meant for us to share what is official and what is helpful to the fellow teachers. Yes.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. Setting the rules is particularly important. I can attest to the fact, not necessarily for teachers, WhatsApp group can attract unrelated content on occasions. Dimberry is asking, how did you keep the digital literacy of teachers? Is that a barrier, and how do you navigate that?
Sorry, can please come up?
Teacher digital literacy. Have teachers found coming on the platform easy? Have you had barriers to navigating emails, password, or use of the platform? Are teachers very comfortable, or do you have varying degree of ease with technology? How do you ensure that everyone is on board or carried along?
So yes, we have had challenges when it comes to digital literacy among teachers, because you find we attract teachers from both urban as well as rural areas. And this particular e-learning platform, you find that it is new to some of these particular teachers. So there are some who are having challenges in navigating through the platform. So the solution to that is we have admins, ICT admins, who are actually focused to ensure that any issue that arises from this particular teachers is sorted. So these WhatsApp forums actually help us. They can be able to raise that I'm not able to log into my e-learning platform. What is it that I can be able to do? So we ensure that these WhatsApp forums are actually active, and there's someone that is actually attending to their particular request. Another thing that we are doing is we create short videos that can be able to guide them on how is it that they can be able to navigate the e-learning platform. So short interactive videos have actually been able to help them to navigate through these particular platforms.
Awesome, thank you. Questions are coming in again with lots of affirmation for some of the things you've said. Wahi Ebenezer is asking, please, Dorcas, how interested are the teachers in the different schools which you have touched? From my experience, some teachers are unwilling to change from the analog to this digital way of education. So in your case, how comparative are they?
Melissa, you can take up that particular question.
Thank you for that question. That's a very important question. I think willingness to learn starts from within. And I think from the first group of teachers who have experienced the platform, they become the ambassadors to the other teachers, and the cycle continues. Teachers not being unwilling to change from analog to digital ways, you need to assist them. As Dorcas said, there's ICT support. Some teachers actually, and it's not that they're unwilling, they are shying away because they do not have the assistance. And once they are assisted, able to know that they can log into the platform, and this is how they can get the materials that they may need.
Awesome. Thanks, Melissa. I particularly like your response, and I think I see why it is asking in two different ways. So teachers are really not scared or not interested. It's just their confidence level or how comfortable they feel with technology significantly impacts on adoption and uptake. So the way you've created the platform where teachers can easily get help and question answers basically help overcome that barrier. And that's I'm reiterating what I've heard from your response. And yeah, that touch point where teachers feel that I'm not alone. Once there's a barrier, I have the right help, significantly can help them overcome those initial barriers that would often help them feel like they are not interested. Right? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that amazing question. Why Ebenezer, for your online course in the future, how do you create awareness so interested individuals can benefit? I don't know, maybe you might want to just speak to that briefly. How are you disseminating this? How are you reaching teachers? I know you have goals to reach teachers in Kenya, more counties, and across the continent, or maybe across the world. So what ways have you seen as effective to reaching more teachers? Or how have you reached, what channels are you already adopting in reaching or disseminating the platform?
Okay, so I will take up that. So we have been able to reach teachers through WhatsApp. We have seen that WhatsApp is actually one of the methods that is actually effective in reaching most of the teachers. Apart from that is we have been using our own social media platforms. As e-Msingi, we have our own social media platforms, that is X, that is we also have Instagram, we also have the LinkedIn. So those are the platforms that we have been able to reach with. Apart from that, we have also been able to reach teachers through the head teachers. As you know, head teachers are actually the ones who play a key role when it comes to ensuring that their teachers take up these particular courses. So going through the head teachers has also been one of the most effective ways. Yes.
Awesome, thank you. Lots of questions. I want to be sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. But I see Ali has another one. For example, in a simulation where you try to introduce the digital world in education, while your colleagues are not that ready to accept such idea, how can you make sure that such idea is considered and put into practice? How much of an interest have you seen from teachers in embracing this new approach? I know you're introducing a platform, you're introducing methods, and also introducing content. How much of interest and uptake have you seen from teachers?
Melissa?
Interest in it. I think also is, as I had said earlier on, what are they gaining out of it at the end? For them, this is a supplementary to the normal way that they teach in the classroom. And this is a more fun and more interactive way with the learners and the teachers. So the teachers are really responding to it well.
Thank you, Melissa. I think we've run through the questions. I'll just take a quick check again. Is there a way to get some manual of the physics experiment? I would say sign up on the platform, explore the activities in there, and also I'm sure Dorcas and Melissa, Melissa, you might also want to drop your email or something. Dorcas shared that as earlier on so that people can connect with you, and then of course continue the conversation after. So, but we invite everyone to explore and take advantage of the activities that they've created. I feel that I have exhausted the question. Yeah, so Melissa has just dropped that email in the chat. Please feel free to connect directly with her. Jacob is saying, thank you, ladies, for the nice presentation. Hope to learn more through the online contacts you have shared. So Gavin has a question. It says, how supportive has the government been? I know you interface with them in terms of alignment, but how much of a support do you have any form of interaction or connection with government?
So as I've mentioned earlier, the government has been supportive. We are still in the process of ensuring that this support is actually 100%. So as I've said, we are currently looking into working more with the Teacher Service Commission, which is actually the commission that is in charge of ensuring that whatever certification is given to the teachers is relevant. So we are in the process of ensuring that we work with them 100% so that we can be able to provide courses that are relevant. So that is one area that we are actually looking to work with them. Another area that we are looking to work with the government is through the county government. So we have links to the county government, the education county government officials. We are working to work, we are looking forward to working more with them so that we can be able to reach more teachers and to ensure that this particular project is of impact, not only to Kenya, but also to the rest of Africa.
Thank you, Dorcas. I see we're fast approaching, as always, so little time to cover the entire thing. But just to take us slightly away from like the platform-based question, your approach seems to be student-centered. Do you, I think that might go to Melissa. Do you want to talk us a little through some of the methodologies that you've seen teachers adopt, or some of the ones you are introducing to teachers via the platform?
Kindly come again.
Yeah, I'm just curious to know. I'm sure someone asked, I've been looking to check that up. Your approach, you're promoting student-centered approach via the platform. Can you just talk us through some of the ones that you're introducing, or some of the ones you've seen teachers begin to adopt and use in their practice?
Okay. So far we've done like a recorded maths and Kiswahili and English lesson, such that the learners can be able to access it even when they're not in school. Even now, for the games that we have set, the learner is able to do them, they are self-paced. So they're able to move from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. I'm hoping I'm answering your question.
Yes. So that's a side to it, but on the other side, and Dorcas, please feel free to jump in as well. So there are different ways that a teacher can enforce or engage the student-centered methodology in classroom. And so these are some of the things that the platform is trying to introduce. Which of these methods, I don't know if that's the approach you've taken, but which of these methods have you adopted, or have you seen teachers begin to use in their classroom from teacher end now?
Okay, I think I'll let Dorcas answer that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. I hope I can be able to answer you clearly. So some of the student-centered methods that we have seen teachers adapting is whereby they give the students projects to be able to, the students are given projects, then these students, once they're given a particular project, they come and present to the particular, to other students. So you find they learn from each other. So another method that we have seen is working is work-based assignment, whereby the students are able to look into a particular problem that is happening in their school and how is it that they can be able to solve that particular problem. So presentations is one method. Project-based is another method of that teachers have been using based on the forums that we have interacted with them.
Great. Thank you, Dorcas. It does seem that we've exhausted the questions in the chat. And even as we start to wind down, I would just like to read some of the feedback. This project is a beautiful one. Keep it going, Dorcas and Melissa. Tali Hong says, nice to see you all. It's a pleasure to have you join today. Wonderful presentation, Dorcas. Thank you. Brilliant presentation from Thabot. I'm sure everyone has picked a thing or two from the presentation and some of the interactions that have happened. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. Thank you, amazing session. Yeah, please feel free to pick up the email address from the chat so that you can stay in touch, but definitely invite you to visit the website, e-Msingi. If you like, please drop the link to the site also in the chat for people to easily get pick that up as well. So we've come to the end of today's show. So I would allow Melissa and Dorcas to just give parting words, so perhaps anything we should leave with at the end of the session. And then I also have one very, I would say big or small, based on how you classify that, takeaway for the session as well. Something you can, of course, take away and then bring back. You can engage or explore before our next session. Dorcas, final words.
The person I would like to wrap this particular session is, we are joined by one of our key person when it comes to this e-Msingi project. He's the one behind this particular project. His name is Dr. Alfred Kitawi. I think I will give him a chance to give us a parting shot.
Sure. Hello, Dr. Alfred. It's a pleasure to have you. The floor is yours. You can unmute and speak.
Thank you very much. This was sudden. I wasn't planning to mention anything. So I hope you can hear me.
We hear you good, Dr. Alfred.
Okay. First of all, I would like to congratulate the two good ladies for the presentation. The parting shot is that there are many problems in Africa, beginning with Kenya. And I don't think that only e-Msingi is the only solution. I think it is one of the solutions. And I think if we work together, we can actually address many of the problems. As Dorcas mentioned, there are actually 5 pillars. One of them where we are getting a lot of buzz is the psychological pillar, the one for mental health because of all the issues happening. So we encourage you to explore the platform, give us corrections, and we are willing to work with you. So just reach out. The two ladies have sent their contacts, and let's make Africa great. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alfred. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Dorcas. It's been a pleasure to have you join today. And we've learned a lot from your presentation, and we hope that we continue to hear big things about your platform going forward. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's session. It's been a pleasure to have you join us again. I hope you've had an amazing time. It's been a pleasure to host today's session, and we look forward to having you join next month. As we part, just one thing, the PhET website, you might look forward to future announcement. There's a big change to and this is in response to the activities that someone raised in the chat. There's been some amazing new features on the PhET website around teacher activities, how to navigate, how you can bookmark and engage that. So I invite you to explore. I'm sure there might be a future sessions or resources that will push out in coming days, but it's a feature that you definitely want to check out. So I invite you to visit the website, check out the new activities page and how you can engage with that in new and exciting ways. Thanks again, everyone, for joining. See you next month. Bye for now.